and to your point, I make enough money. Like I'm not that, like, trust me, I love making even more money. That's great. But like my life mission is to make a runway big enough for everyone I love and care about to come with me. So if you're, I can tell you this, if you're making 100 grand a month, or if you're making 150 a month or 200, or, you know, I've been blessed to do very well.
Right.
Your life is not different at 100 to 150. Most people build a life around their business. I built businesses around my life.
Yeah. Look, pull in the spot. Ooh. Watch how I drop. Believe it or not, this isn't all that I got. Yeah. They told me to rock. That's not how I rock. Now I gotta pop Madonna.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ricky in the Flip Lab. Today, I'm joined with Templeton Walker. For those of you guys that don't know, I actually sold my first wholesale deal to this guy a few years back. He was the end buyer. On top of that, he has a bunch of different real estate verticals here in Phoenix, Arizona. He's also father to four with a
with one on the way.
With a fifth on the way. So I just really want to break down how he lives, this awesome work-life balance, and how he's built up all these different real estate businesses. So Temp, give a little background of, you know, how you got to this point.
Well, dude, first off, thank you for having me. I was so jealous of your studio when you built it. I was like, oh, I got to get in there.
I know.
So for you to have me, it's an honor. Still remember that deal on Hubble.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So backstory, regular realtor 8 years ago, didn't know what the hell I was doing, became pretty successful at that, realized being a realtor was not what I wanted to do, but I had already built a big team. And that was at a point where I could have like killed that business or leveraged it out. It was the first time that I really got forced into delegating and leveraging an entire company. So I still have a real estate team that sells $40 million a year. I have an amazing lady named Shauna who runs that. I have amazing realtors, 15 to 20 of them at any given time, that are highly productive. But I had to kind of pivot and change the model because my desire and passion was the investing side. But I didn't like, why go kill this company that actually nets me and makes me great money? So I was like, okay, cool. I have that. Next was going to be the wholesale company. So I have the wholesale company. Well, if I have a wholesale company and I know how to flip houses, why not be the best buyer for myself? I have the flipping company, and then I have the title company that eats off all those leads. And then I have holding companies and a lot of rentals. But I just figured out how to get vertically integrated and try to get paid 4 to 5 different ways from the same lead.
Yeah. And you're running all these different businesses and you're making money all these different ways. What I think is really cool with you, though, is it seems like you're not, you know, working 15 hours a day in all your businesses, and you're not having to go to, you know, all these meetings and managing all these employees.
Yeah.
What would you say has kind of been your secret to building out all these businesses, but not having to be in these businesses so heavily?
So for me, I always tell people you have to have clarity on what you want your life to look like and then go backwards from there. Like my definition of success can be different than yours.
Yeah.
And most people only measure success through wealth. And there's so many other buckets in your life that are important. And for me, money used to always dominate my thoughts. And now it's like 5th on my list. It's faith, family, health, friends, and then money. Money is the tool that then pours into those other buckets.
Right.
So I had to have clarity on what I wanted my life to look like. I didn't want to work 15, 20 hours a week. Don't get me wrong. When I was starting a lot of these companies, I grinded, man. There was a time I held 100 open houses in 100 days, you know, in slacks and button. I'm Templeton. Would you like to see this house?
Right.
You know, I ate. I'm doing that.
Yeah. You ate shit.
I ate shit. I didn't know if it could. I ate shit for a long time, but I put that work in because I knew what I wanted at the end result was balance with my family. So, dude, at this point, don't get me wrong. I have some days where I work long hours. Or I have to I have to just show up and put in what's needed. But on average, man, I work 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah.
I always take my kids to school in the morning. I get to the office by 8:45. After I drop them off, I go straight there. I'll work till 1, 2, go get baby Temp from preschool, then go get Noah at 3, and I'm with my family the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I've set up my life. And I set a standard that's what I wanted it to look like. And then I reverse engineered from there. Most people build a life around their business. I built businesses around my life.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when, you know, I see you all the time. You're at home with your family. You're like playing soccer. You're, you know, just playing sports with the kids, dancing, fooling around. And I think that's so cool because a lot of people, they think if you're going to make all this money and you're going to gain all this success, that a lot of the times you have to sacrifice that. And I think if you build it up the right way, you can it's almost the opposite of that.
It's a limiting belief, man. And so many people mistake being busy for results.
Totally.
There's a great book called Deep Work that talks about, like, in this day and age, most people are not working with high intention. Like, dude, I can get more done in those 3 or 4 hours than most people can in a week. I am so intentional when I'm in my hunt mode, because I try to buy a deal a day. You know my saying,
Right?
With
Soul
my
pod.
with my
Deal
Soul
a day.
Pod, Miguel, Rod, Jem,
Yeah,
Jeff.
explain a little bit. What is the Soul Pod?
So Soul Pod is like my wholesale company, essentially. It's a group of individuals comprised of my 2 partners in the wholesale company, Miguel and Rudolph. About a year ago, I was so burnt on wholesaling. Again, work-life balance. I used to sell a lot of deals, but like, you'd sent me the deal, I'd comp the deal, I'd send the deal, and I did it all off referral, and I made a ton of money. I kept all the money, but there was not much scale. Like, it was just me and an assistant.
Yeah.
And I was done, dude. I didn't want to wholesale anymore. It was just like, I was exhausted looking at deals. So I needed good integrators, young, hungry guys that could plug into like my big vision. I could help them and we could be assets to each other. So last September, we joined forces, and it's naturally, dude, like, if you're ever going to collaborate with someone, not only do you have to have the yin to the yang, like in your skill sets, but your character and values need to be aligned. And they have to be on the same energy as you, of like, dude, I love those guys. Like, they're my brothers.
Yeah, they're fucking amazing dudes.
So
man.
the Soul Pod is a group of human beings trying to go be the very best version of themselves. And when you're the very best version of yourself, you can then go be the very best investor, the very best father, friend, flipper, whatever that's going to be. But it starts with you. You have to fill your cup, and like, team human being, like, optimization first. And then a natural byproduct of becoming that is a lot of money.
Yep.
And most other people in town, or just in general, who I love everyone, but like, a lot of people focus on the dollars first, and then all the human values come second. And I've inversed that. It's like, the soul is first. Like, I believe that we will transcend one day, and this is an eternal journey.
Right.
So there's no dollar that could ever steal that from me. So like, I'm only going to connect and love people that are like in my Soul Pod. And if we go do the right things every day, you can print money, and
Right.
we do.
And I think it's interesting because I see a lot of other people that are probably at the success you're at, which, I mean, you're a pretty humble dude, but I mean, this dude has been doing 7-figure years. I think you have 18 projects going on now, or
20,
something?
22 in construction.
22 projects in construction. A lot of guys at your level, what I typically see is a year ago when you partnered up with Miguel and Rudolph, like, you probably would have just hired acquisitions people, hired acquisitions manager, pay him like 10, 20% commission, and structure it like that. But you went with, it seemed like an equity type split with partners.
Yeah.
What was kind of your decision process behind that?
Miguel and Rudolph are so talented and capable. They're a rare breed. And I understood that to create something long-term, I know how I was. I've been on teams when I was first starting in real estate. You could never keep me within that system, right? I am too great. I am too grand. I am too big thinking to ever just stay within that.
Yeah.
So unless I let you share in the pie, you're going to eventually evolve and scale out. So I looked at this opportunity with them as like, all right, these are the right guys. Like, I love them. Like, we're on the same energy wavelength. Like, I can see being in business with them forever. So now let me give them equity in the company, so they care about it just as much as me. And because I could always go hire acquisitions and have a company, but like, it's not, those people don't care about it the same way. And to your point, I make enough money. Like, I'm not that, like, trust me, I love making even more money. That's great. But like, my life mission is to make a runway big enough for everyone I love and care about to come with me. So if you're, I can tell you this, if you're making 100 grand a month, or if you're making 150 a month, or 200, or, you know, I've been blessed to do very well.
Right.
Your life is not different at 100 to 150. It's dope either way.
Yeah.
So why not bring people with you, you know, give up some equity and create something more sturdy and something long-standing, instead of just a business that is always churning.
Yeah. It's interesting because I get the question brought up a lot too, where people are like, damn, like, it's crazy how you give away 50% of your equity to my business partner, Steve, who's out in New Jersey. And people go to him and they're like, man, it's crazy. Like, you give Ricky 50% of your equity, but me and him both look at it like it's a huge win. It's like, we're not sacrificing equity because you bring what we can both do together and us just, being the best versions of ourselves and working on what we're good at, we end up doing way more than if we were, just by ourselves.
Did you have an abundant mindset, right? Like there's a fixed mindset and there's an abundant mindset. And I always tell people partnerships can't be 1 + 1 = 2. They have to be 1 + 1 = 10. You know what I mean? Like it has to have exponential growth and potential. Because if it's 1 + 1 = 2, then yeah, you should go do your own thing and he should do his own thing because you guys are pretty much landing in the same spot. But if that partnership could create something that goes 5, 10x what you guys are capable, because now, to use Napoleon Hill's analogy, when you mastermind, Outwitting the Devil is one of my favorite books ever. And one of the
it's right on it's one of these books sitting right here. Yeah.
So when you want to be out of drifting and out of the devil's grasp, masterminding is one of the greatest tools you can have. And when you're masterminding with a business partner who cares just about as much about that business as you, you're powerful. Like you are unstoppable if you're with the right people.
That's what I always say. I don't have to worry about Steve showing up to work or being there or doing the right things because it's his business.
Yeah.
When you hire an employee, they're just not going to look at it that same way.
Right.
And then if you hire a super talented person, what I've learned is, and you don't give them equity, they're just going to leave and do their own thing.
They are. So you got to start creating cultures. Like, so now our company has 15 people in it. So we have employees. And what I've learned is that you can take that same care and culture and you can create something special with all your people, but you have to understand, like I had an agent once, I couldn't understand why he wasn't selling 2 or 3 deals a month the way I required. And I just had him on this, like, this is what you should be earning. And I sat with him, I go, hey man, tell me about your life. Like, what do you want? He's like, dude, I love running ultra marathons. And I made like 65 grand a year. I'd be so happy. And this whole time I'm like, why? I'm holding him to a standard of 300K a year and 30 deals.
He doesn't want that.
It's not what he wanted, right?
Yeah.
So now I can really understand his needs. And I was like, dude, here's the good news. You need to go sell like 7 homes this year. And he's like, I can do that. Now we're in alignment. We have clarity on his goal. And now as a boss or an owner of the company, I can support what's important to him. Sometimes, like what we don't understand, because we're capitalists and we're money motivated. More money is not most important for some people. Imagine if you get somebody who's like, you know what? I've never just had a company that I love coming into every day, earning a healthy income, having people that support me, that allow me to grow, allow me to learn. You can keep people in your system. Not everyone wants to be the queen bee. Right. A lot of people want to be the worker bees, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I just try to create a system that like people feel appreciated and they have opportunity to grow. And if they do exit, I'll give them a hug and say, hey, let me know what you need help with on your next venture. Like,
yeah, I think that's huge because not everyone is going to have our mindset. And I don't think that's even a good thing. Like, I'm envious of the guys sometimes that they're like, you look at their life and they live like the most basic ass life, but they are so happy.
Dude, I tell people all the time, my ambition is fucking exhausting. I wish sometimes
I
wasn't so ambitious. Like, I'm exhausted of myself. I'm like, dude, stop. But I can't stop creating because I've been retired, right? Like when my assets were paying for my lifestyle.
Right. You have enough rentals.
Yeah, I have enough rental income to be done, right?
Yeah.
Or if you include businesses, I have more than enough
for sure
passive income. And what I found out is like that comfort zone is like where happiness goes to die. I am happiest when I am pursuing a challenge that I'm excited about and that is difficult and that I think will make an impact. When I'm doing that, that's when I'm happy. So I've tried to like kick my feet up and be done before.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
It lasts like 4 days. Like I can't even go on vacation for like 10 days or anything. Like I like what I do. I love what I do. So
now how do you separate that? Because for instance, like you have that mindset, but you're also, I know like there's nothing more important to you than family, your kids. So all of a sudden, you know, you're on vacation and you see the phone ring and it's the money phone number calling you that you know it's about to be something good. How do you decide, like, do I take that phone call or do I continue playing catch, you know, with my sons?
Anymore, I don't take it, right? Because I'm fulfilled. I have enough to where there's got to be a time where you put boundaries in place to say, you know what? That's why I deleted that big Instagram account because I'm my little boy just wants me to throw baseballs at him and I'm DMing some person I don't know.
So for those of you guys that don't know, Temp had an Instagram following of what, 10, 15,000 or
Yeah, it was
something?
like 15.
Right. Like organic, engaged, really good following. He got a ton of business from it. And one day you just deleted it. And I remember talking to you like, dude, you're going to want this back in like 2 weeks. And you're like, I just had to get off.
Yeah, man. I was at a spot where I was like, I buy and sell my houses with a lot of times the same 30, 40 people.
Yep.
So why am I like trying to prove to the other 90% who take up 80% of my time, who only create like 10% of my business? Why am I trying to prove to them how special and great I am? Like, I just felt like I was like, just like not in alignment with my values. So I had to kind of reset, and it made me appreciate now, like, I think I have 1,000 followers, but dude, they are the most quality group. Like, I just had my meetup, my Soul Pod coffee at 7 a.m. from one Instagram story. 4 weeks in a row, I've had 40 or 50 people show up at my office at 7 a.m. just to hear me, you know, spit some knowledge.
Right.
Like, so I'd rather have quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So to your point though, about the phone, I've also brought in partners, right? Like, Miguel and Rod understand that the opportunity to partner with me is a very big one. And the thing that they're bringing to the table is the sweat equity. Like, those guys are still working 10, 12-hour days. And I just told you I'm working 3 or 4.
But you're on your chapter 8 of real estate, right?
Exactly.
And
but we're in alignment of that.
Right. They
And-
understand that. They're not envious, or they
No.
don't feel like, oh, damn, like, why are we splitting all this money with Temp if he's not putting in the work? They don't have
Well,
that mindset.
But here's the thing, like, it's only the 11th. We've already bought 16 deals this month.
Right.
And I only need to buy a deal a day, business days. There's 261 working days this year. I need to buy 261 deals, average at 10K. That's 2.6 million. That's just the wholesale company. Like, I know my numbers. We're already at, I think we're only at like 7 business days this month. We're already at 16 deals. So we're crushing. I have 8 of them. So even though I work less because of the efficiency in which I work, and because I've been on the internet for so many years saying send me your deals,
Yeah.
and my presence in town and my relationships, I can just do more deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the value is still there, even though the hours aren't.
You put in the work. Yeah. All these previous years.
The result is there.
Right. So, and you're probably not able to build that overnight either. Like, it took you time to get to this point. It's not like
Took
you
me a
just
ton
have
of time.
this
But-
like super efficient mind all the time either. I mean, you probably do, right.
No, but I
you
don't,
do.
dude. And I'm still growing every day. Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff I was doing 3 months ago that I'm not doing today because I learned from it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, every day I'm just trying to get a bit better. And that sounds cliche, but like, if you truly do that, man, that's where compounding interest into your health, wealth, mindset, knowledge, experience, it grows exponentially, as opposed to always starting and stopping and never really getting going. Like, every day I kind of lean into it and I get a little bit better. And
Yeah.
I learn something.
And your business, since I've known you for the last few years, has changed a lot with just your business structure, how you were buying deals. But it seems like, I mean, you've consistently been buying deals.
I've always bought deals, dude. I've always been like a low key sleeper. Like, I'm not the guys out there spending 50 grand a month to go do.
Tell the people you're doing a deal a day in Phoenix, like one of the most competitive markets, hottest markets. Everyone's like, oh, it's impossible to find deals there. You're doing a deal a day. And how much money are you spending a month on marketing?
So it's scaled. Miguel and Rod, I used to spend nothing.
Right.
And I used to do maybe 8 to 10 deals a month.
Right.
Now we do 25 to 30, and we're on track to maybe start doing 35, 40, right? Like, I need to start calling it 2 deals a day.
Wow.
But we're scaling really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
What they've done is, I never like wanted to integrate the systems and the processes to spend money. So in the past, I was always at 0. Send me your deals is still, referral is still 70% of our business, but we have a 15-person operation, 7 or 8 VAs, a few full-time callers here, disposition. We're spending about 15K a month right now. So that has grown. That's more money than I've ever spent on a wholesale company.
Right.
But on 15K a month, I mean, last month we hit 300. So on 15 in spend.
And what do you think? Like, I mean, I know people here, and it seems they act like it's impossible for them to even just get 1 deal a month here. It's too much competition, too much this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a deal a day.
Yeah.
What do you think what's the secret? I mean, because people are like, there's got to be something. I mean, let's say take your networking presence aside.
Yeah.
Let's say if you took that away from you and people didn't know Templeton Walker.
If I had to like move to town and rebuild it,
yeah,
I would go find the most successful person that had the capital to like, and the know-how to go flip houses. And I would just go find them deals. I would just be like, look, what are you looking for? I'm going to go find it. And then I would take them the deal and be like, take half. I'm just
And how are you finding them the deal? What would you do?
I would go, it's my model, man. I'm licensed realtor.
Yeah.
I'd reach out to every realtor, which is what I do now. And I'd say, hey, either I am or I represent the largest buyer in town. He or she needs at least 10 to 12 deals a month, and they're paying really good prices. Can you do me a favor and send me anything that smells like a deal prior to market? If you have that deal that you're just like, I know this is going to be a cash offer investor, you can represent me. You can take both sides of the commission. My buyer's going to take care of me, but I just want to give you a pre-market offer. Worst case, you go into that listing appointment, you already have an offer in hand. Is that fair? I would go have that conversation 50 times a day. I would go meet every realtor there is. And then when I started to buy something and borrow hard money and do a flip, I'd go cultivate a crew and I'd start flipping. Cause you can go flip 4 houses a year and go make 100, 200 grand.
Yeah.
So I would get my baseline income set up there. And then I would have my referral business getting started. And I would really start diving into the market knowledge and I would know how to underwrite a deal in town perfectly. I would become masterful at that. I would hit up 50 realtors a day saying those words I just said. And then I would find people that are flipping at a high level and say, hey, do you want this deal? Do you need this deal? What can I bring you? Make my spread. Maybe we collaborate on a deal.
Yeah.
One of the big reasons why people send me so many deals is I'm not just a wholesaler. Right. I move some deals on, but I guarantee my price. So like if I tell you I'm going to pay 190, like last year I bought like 30 homes I didn't really want to buy, but I told people I'd buy them. So I bought them. You know what I mean? So
even on those ones, maybe throughout the year you might break even, or like you might buy a couple like shit deals, might even lose on a couple.
Yeah.
But kind of going in every time of like being that guaranteed type guy, you think that's just kind of helps you in the long run?
Yeah.
I think making sure that realtor calls Templeton.
Yeah, when you perform,
like,
and my name is Templeton. Like that's a unique name. So I can't really hide. And I have a big personality. So it's like, if you meet me or you hear about me, you're going to remember me. So now if I don't perform or do what I say, or if my character is flawed, people will know. So if I tell you I'm going to buy something and I committed and there's not something outside of my control, I'm going to buy that house.
Yeah.
And I know that's why so many people.
That's why I did my first wholesale deal with you. Like, so this was like 2019. I didn't know what I was doing. But I found it. I knew it was a deal, but I didn't know what you were going to do with it, but I knew you were going to close on it. If you said you were going to buy it, I think you ended up,
I'll get you paid.
Right, I think you ended up wholesaling it out.
Didn't we like split 15 grand or something?
Yeah. It was, or we split
like 10 grand.
Yeah,
no, it was a three-way.
It was a like three-way, 5, 5, and 5.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I have a buyer here, but I need to make 5, 5, 5. And you're like, yeah, dude, sounds good. Because you were like almost out of time, right?
Right. I was like out of time. He needed a closer.
No one else could sell it
in like 2 days. No one else could sell it. So that's why I went to you, because your reputation, before I even knew you, I knew from social media though, that reputation of Templeton's a closer.
Yeah.
He's not going to pull some shady shit.
People don't understand their reputation enters a room before them, and it's going to give people a first impression before you're even able. So the way you interact with people, carry yourself goes a long way. So, and I think to that point, my integrity and character is like unwavering. Dollars will not, like if I cannot cheat you out of a penny. I can't, like it's in my heart.
Right.
So many people, I hear horror stories of new wholesalers taking deals to people who are like trying to get it figured out. They tell them it's not a deal. And then they find out that person went and bought it and sold it and pretty much stole it. Where like, that's just not like, people bring me stuff they don't have locked up yet. And I help them solve the problem. And I give them their options. And I'll be like, hey, if you want to do this, I can help you. If you want to do this, here's what you have on your plate. And now you have a decision to make. I can help, or you can go do this. But I just kind of help people understand what opportunities in front of them.
Yeah. I see it in like New Jersey a lot, where it's a little more like East Coast. Everyone's trying to like fuck each other. Yeah. It's like that over there. And I think a lot of these end buyers are like making that mistake of like trying to screw these wholesalers out of deals and stuff, when I'm like, dude, like if you're a wholesaler, like all my resources are open to you. You want our MLS access, you want our prop stream, what you want, some of our cold leads, like what do you
have a collaborative mindset,
right? You want a list, like I'll send you whatever you want.
This is what people don't understand. The more deals they go do, and if you help them do that and you have an abundant mindset and that's your energy, that will come back to you tenfold. But people have such a scarcity mindset, limiting belief. Like if that guy wins, I lose. And it's like, no, that guy can win and I can win.
I pay the wholesaler 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just like give him like $1,000 finder's fee. What's he probably going to do with that 10 grand? He's probably going to reinvest into more marketing
and go find me more deals.
Find more deals that then who's he going to sell them to? He's going to sell them back to me. So it's like everyone's kind of winning, but I see a lot of people though that they're just very short-sighted in the way that they're thinking.
Dude, and I want to do deals forever. Like I want to do deals forever. And my name is my bond, right? Like, so 10 grand in this month, like that I could maybe finagle out of someone is not worth the millions of dollars I'm going to make down the road. So it's like, just have a long vision. If you're in this business from day one, have a long vision.
Yeah. So if you're, let's say a dad or a mom, you have this family, right? You're trying to maybe leave your corporate job and get into being like a real estate investor full time.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the most important thing to like make that transition with a family in mind?
So first and foremost, I think you need to set up a schedule because time is real. And if you don't have time, then you can't go take action. So like for me, when I got in real estate, I had kids and me and Denise weren't married yet, but like we were in a small apartment, bro. I went and worked at a personal training studio as the front desk guy making $9 an hour, but the schedule was 5 a.m. till noon. And then from noon, I would get a workout in from noon to 1. And then from 1 till I fell asleep, I did real estate. So I kind of took like a step backwards to go make $9 an hour, but it put food on the table so I could then have the schedule because I could have went and made more money, but I was going to have to make it from 8 to 6 every day. Where are you going to go sell real estate in that, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I went and found the schedule that was 5 to noon. So first and foremost, I would open up the time that allows you to actually go take action. So figure out how to do that. And maybe eat some humble pie and be the towel boy at the freaking personal training
No
studio.
excuses. Make time.
Yeah, I'm a licensed realtor. At that point, I'm 26 and I'm making $9 an hour as the towel boy. And I had already made good money as a lender once. And I'd had some decent jobs. That was humbling, but it gave me the schedule to now go take action. And now you're that mother or father with kids. Tap into the free education, YouTube University, this podcast, my podcast, all these things.
So much.
There is so much
resources.
knowledge out there. And just know that there's someone out there that matches you. Like you don't have to learn from everybody, but find the vibe and start learning and then go to meetups, investors, and just take action. Like you don't need to be licensed to start calling realtors. Find a title company, get with a title rep, say, can you please give me a list of every realtor in town with their name and number? Start working that list. Say the words that I said 10 minutes ago on this podcast.
Exactly.
And then start honing your skills on how to underwrite and understand if you have a deal, because you'll burn people out if you keep bringing bad deals to them. But if you can kind of understand if you have somewhat of a deal, then bring it to a guy like me or a guy like you and we'll help you make money with it. That's what people don't understand is like, just get someone to raise their hand that has motivation and we'll help you.
Right. Yeah, you spend all the time saying like shit deal after shit deal. It's like, then eventually you're like,
yeah, you burn us out and like you kind of stop getting a response.
I would say focus on the motivation though. Don't focus on everything else. But if there's a problem to solve, bring the problem to me.
To the problem solver, which is you, and you're ahead of the game.
I know how to fix this problem, and then we all get paid and the seller's problem gets fixed.
You don't need to figure out how to cook the whole cake right now. You need to learn how to turn on the oven.
Love it.
Just bring the ingredients and we'll cook it. That's all. Like, I think people just need to know that. And I know we're almost there. Just bring the opportunity. If it smells like a deal, there's really smart people that love and care about you in this industry that will help you turn it into money and get it to the finish line. Guys like you, guys like myself, guys like Jamil, guys like, there's a lot of great guys.
Yeah. Go find some in your local area. Just do a quick search online and you'll find some. So if people want to find you, Temp.
So I have Instagram again, Templeton_Walker. I have a TikTok now. It's called Templeton the Investor.
Ooh. And I know you had a podcast I used to listen to. I think
Templeton Walker podcast is still there. Yeah, I've still been doing it.
You've been doing it?
And then me and the guys are starting a new podcast called The Soul Pod. Pod, right? So still have the podcast. I've missed the last 2 weeks, but we're going to rebrand. So yeah, podcast. I got all sorts.
Cool, man. Love it.
Send me ideas.
Templeton Walker, guys. Dude, I did my first wholesale deal with one of my homies.
Appreciate you, brother.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.